Across human history, certain symbols echo across continents and millennia, whispering forgotten stories. One of the most perplexing is the image of a mysterious handbag or satchel clutched by gods and heroes in ancient art. Its repeated presence suggests a profound importance, a meaning we may have lost. Why did ancient peoples from the Middle East to the Americas all depict this specific object? The satchel appears in the hands of figures credited with bringing civilization to humanity, teachers, founders, and masters of knowledge. It's not just an accessory. It's a symbol of power, wisdom, and the foundations of society. What knowledge was so vital that it needed its own symbol, one that could cross oceans and survive millennia? I believe we are a species with amnesia, having forgotten a profound event and a high civilization lost to time. The ancient satchel is a clue, a marker left by survivors of a lost world, a fingerprint of the gods. This essay will explore the mystery of the ancient satchel. We'll visit ancient sites from Göbekli Tepe to Mesoamerica, examining the figures who carry these bags and what they might represent. We'll weigh mainstream explanations against the possibility of a more radical narrative. The satchel is a key. The question is, what lock does it open? The satchel's mystery begins with its global distribution. It's not confined to one culture or region, but appears across the world in places supposedly unconnected. We find it at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, among the Sumerians in Mesopotamia, and, astonishingly, in Mesoamerica. How could a specific image appear in the Near East over 10,000 years ago, and then again in Central America thousands of years later? Mainstream history says these cultures developed in isolation, separated by oceans and time, yet the satchel is there, an undeniable link. We see variations in ancient Egypt, the Indus Valley, and even Indonesia. Each discovery deepens the mystery, suggesting a shared system of symbols at the dawn of civilization. Civilizations are supposed to be unique, their symbols born from local traditions. The global footprint of the satchel challenges that view. It points to a legacy, not independent invention. The first civilizations may have inherited their foundational myths and symbols from a much older source. The satchel was the emblem of that source, the bringers of wisdom who appeared after a global catastrophe. The question is not whether the symbol is global, but why. What story does it tell about our shared past? Our investigation begins at Göbekli Tepe, the oldest known temple dating back over 11,000 years. Built by supposed hunter-gatherers, it features massive stone pillars and intricate carvings. On one pillar, 3 handbags float above a vulture, our oldest clue. Göbekli Tepe predates the Great Pyramid and Stonehenge by millennia, yet displays a sophisticated symbol. Why would Stone Age people carve an image later associated with gods and founders of civilization? The satchel's presence here suggests civilization's story is far older than we think. These builders weren't inventing the symbol, they were recording a legacy. It's evidence of a continuity of ideas stretching back into the Ice Age. Göbekli Tepe was built at the end of the Younger Dryas, a time of global upheaval. Is the satchel a memorial to lost knowledge? A legacy from a civilization destroyed in that cataclysm? The world's oldest temple may be a monument to a forgotten chapter of human history. Thousands of years after Göbekli Tepe, the satchel reappears in Mesopotamia in the hands of the Apkallu, the legendary 7 sages. These semi-divine beings, part man, part fish, were said to have brought civilization's gifts to humanity. The Apkallu are depicted holding a pine cone-like object and the familiar satchel. The pine cone is thought to sprinkle sacred water, but the satchel's meaning is deeper. It likely symbolizes the knowledge the Apkallu carried, the blueprints for civilization. Mesopotamian myths say the Apkallu survived a great flood and emerged to help humanity rebuild. This narrative aligns with Göbekli Tepe, a cataclysm followed by teachers bearing knowledge. The satchel is the enduring symbol of this transmission, a toolkit of the gods. Its presence in Mesopotamia is not an invention, but a continuation of an ancient tradition. The connection is too strong to ignore. We see a consistent story disaster, wise teachers, and the gift of civilization. The satchel links these events across time and culture. It's powerful evidence that our origins are more complex than we've been taught. There was a precursor, a forgotten parent culture. The satchel is its legacy. The satchel's journey takes a remarkable turn in Mesoamerica. In Mexico and Central America, the same symbol appears, held by civilizing heroes like Quetzalcoatl. At La Venta, a bearded figure, often identified as Quetzalcoatl, holds a satchel identical to those in Assyrian reliefs. The resemblance is precise and undeniable. Mainstream archaeology insists these cultures had no contact, yet the symbol persists. The Olmec, Toltec and Aztec all depict teacher gods carrying the satchel. In both the Old and New worlds, wise figures appear after catastrophe, teaching the skills of civilization. Both depict these figures with the same satchel. The odds of two isolated cultures inventing the same story and symbol are slim. A more logical explanation: both traditions stem from a common lost source. The satchel is the calling card of a vanished civilization. What does the satchel symbolize? It's unlikely to be a literal bag, but a package of essential knowledge. First, agriculture, the foundation of civilization, requires astronomy, botany, and sophisticated science. The satchel could represent this agricultural package, enabling permanent settlements and growth. Beyond agriculture, it may symbolize law and social organization, the rules and ethics needed for large societies. The Mesopotamian myths say the Apkallu brought these things. The satchel could also represent a sacred legal code, the software of civilization. Finally, it may stand for architecture and engineering, skills needed to build cities and monuments. Monumental architecture from the start suggests this knowledge was part of the initial package. The satchel is the ultimate toolkit, knowledge of the stars, the earth, society, and construction. It's the legacy of the gods passed down through the ages. This symbol encapsulates the essentials for rebuilding a world. It's a message from the past, urging us to remember. My interpretation diverges from the mainstream. The satchel is the symbol of survivors from a great, advanced civilization, wiped out in a global cataclysm at the end of the last ice age. This lost civilization, possibly centered in Antarctica, had advanced scientific and spiritual knowledge. When disaster struck, a few survived and traveled the world, seeking out humanity's remnants. These survivors became the originals of the Apkallu, Quetzalcoatl, and other civilizing heroes. They weren't gods, but humans with knowledge far beyond the traumatized peoples they encountered. Their mission to preserve and pass on the essentials of their lost world. The satchel was their emblem, a standardized symbol of knowledge. This explains its global distribution and association with civilizing heroes. It connects the dots into a coherent narrative. The satchel transforms from curiosity to vital clue. We are not the first high civilization. We are the latest. The satchel is a message across time, reminding us of a grander, forgotten past. Mainstream archaeology offers a different explanation. The orthodox view sees similarities between cultures as coincidence, not evidence of contact. The satchel is thought to be a ritual bucket in Mesopotamia or an incense bag in Mesoamerica. Any resemblance is considered superficial. The idea of a single symbol crossing the Atlantic in ancient times is dismissed as fantasy. The satchels at Göbekli Tepe are explained away as abstract carvings, their meaning lost. Each culture, they argue, must be understood in its own context. Grand theories of a lost global civilization are labeled pseudoscientific. This perspective is cautious, grounded in data, and resists grand narratives. But by refusing to connect the dots, it may miss the astonishing pattern they create, the clashes between caution and curiosity, established models and new possibilities. The mystery of the ancient satchel is more than an academic puzzle. It's about who we are and where we come from. How we answer this question shapes our understanding of our past. Are we the result of slow linear progress or inheritors of a forgotten legacy? If the mainstream view is right, the satchel is a coincidence, nothing more. But if it's a global marker left by the bringers of civilization, the implications are immense. Our history books would be wrong. Advanced knowledge existed far earlier than believed. Ancient myths of gods and floods may be rooted in real events. The satchel is a fingerprint at the scene of our forgotten history, a message urging us to remember. It tells us our ancestors were not primitive, but survivors who preserved knowledge through darkness. Ultimately, the satchel asks us to be humble and open-minded. It reminds us we may not know as much as we think. The mystery isn't solved, but by asking these questions, we embark on a journey of self-discovery. In seeking the satchel's meaning, we learn what it truly means to be human.